They did their job. He's a He's got guns and he's got semen-coated VHS tapes.
No.
I would have went in a hazmat suit.
What I want to see, what I usually look at in situations like this is I look at the patterns of who got wiped out and how. And one of the first questions, I'll be honest, that I'm going to look at when I look at some of the communities involved is how many of the homeowners were on the P. Diddy list.
So, Jaguar Wright just came through with some bombshell receipts supposedly proving that the devastating LA fires are linked to Diddy and the celebrities on the so-called Diddy list. Since the fires started, several conspiracy theories have popped up regarding who caused the fires and who stands to benefit from the damage. From space attacks to political maneuvers and celebrity cover-ups, it's a mess. One of the conspiracies that have gone viral is the idea that the fires were planned by celebrities on the Diddy list to hide or destroy evidence of their connection to Diddy's RICO enterprise and child. Apparently, that's why very specific celebrities' homes got burned down, while houses beside them remained intact. What makes this theory even crazier is that there are now videos circulating of industry whistleblowers like Jaguar Wright and Ali Carter going around where they predicted bar for bar that this was going to happen.
He's burning? Because didn't I tell y'all that? Didn't I tell y'all there will be an accidental explosion? Accidental fire? And the next thing you know, celebrities' homes would be on fire. Things would be on fire. I pray for the people in its path, but I also pray that it exposes the things that it needs to expose.
And if you thought that was scary, wait till you hear about how Katt Williams backed this theory by linking it all to the government and how the government uses the entertainment industry to distract you guys from the bigger issues you should be worrying about. So is there really any link between these LA fires and the celebrities on the Diddy list? And what did Jaguar have to say about them all? Let's find out. The LA fires have been all anyone can talk about these past few weeks because of the sheer magnitude of it. At least 27 lives have been lost and over 10,000 structures have been damaged, including homes and businesses. Over 100,000 people have been displaced from their homes with nowhere to go, and estimates say the damages caused by the fires are over $100 billion. It's safe to say that this has been the worst disaster the U.S. has seen in a long time.
This morning, the firestorm officials had feared becoming a reality, with a third out-of-control wildfire exploding overnight in the Los Angeles area.
At the end of the day, I mean, who's ready for something like this?
Overnight, flames reaching the iconic Malibu neighborhood and its beachfront homes. In the coastal neighborhood Pacific Palisades, multiple homes completely engulfed in flames, with desperate residents rushing to get out. Planes flying above the area, capturing the massive reach of the inferno.
The problem now is that nobody knows how something so devastating started. According to a report by the BBC, law enforcement officials are investigating the hiking trail through Temescal Canyon in western Los Angeles. The trail has been marked with yellow crime scene tapes, and police are calling it a crime scene and preventing reporters from getting close to the place. According to reports, the trail is being investigated because police suspect that the fires might have started there. Regardless of what caused the fires, experts believe that the climate and weather conditions when the fires started on January 7th created a recipe for disaster for the flames to spread so fast. According to David Demerit, a professor of Earth and Environment at Boston University, the Santa Ana winds led to strong and very dry winds that created dangerous fire weather conditions. Between that and the drought and other man-made factors, LA didn't stand a chance against the fires. But here's where it gets interesting. A lot of people on the internet are simply not buying the whole ecology or climate change angle of these wildfires. They're saying there's a darker and more sinister reason behind the fires, and it all ties back to Diddy and his RICO enterprise. Now, here's where Jaguar Wright comes in. Jaguar spent practically the whole of last year exposing Diddy and other celebrities she believed were tangled up in his sinister circle. After his homes got raided in March 2024, Jaguar did an explosive interview where she revealed that the feds were going to find all sorts of damaging evidence at the house.
The day of the raid,
Yeah.
I got a lot of notifications. I got a lot of ads. I got a lot of mentions. I got a lot of phone calls.
When you said the day of the raid, you're talking about the raid on both Miami and California. Diddy's
And New
homes.
York simultaneously.
Wait, New York was
Yeah,
attached
the
to
New
that?
York house was raided as well.
Oh, wow, that didn't even, they didn't even really.
3 states working in tandem, and they did not tell the officers who they were raiding. They went in tactical as they were instructed to. They didn't know they was raiding Diddy's house. The higher-ups didn't tell anybody because they knew, with Diddy being a Fed informant, that he had people in the force and they wanted to make sure that went through legit. So they ain't tell nobody whose houses they was going to.
And that's why you see the guns.
The cops didn't know that it was Diddy's house over there in Beverly Hills around the corner from the Playboy Mansion. They didn't know until they seen the kids.
So what are your thoughts on the show of force, even not knowing?
They did their job. He's a He's got guns and he's got semen-coated VHS tapes. I would have went in a hazmat suit.
Lo and behold, the feds came out and announced that they had seized ammunitions of all kinds, electronic devices, thousands of hours of freak-off recordings, and 1,000 bottles of baby oils. But it gets worse. Around the time of the raid, there were rumors that Diddy wasn't the only one involved in his shady business, and he had a lot of support from celebrities who either participated in the freak-offs or helped cover it up. It was also rumored that the feds had seized tapes of many of these high-profile celebrities at Diddy's freak-off parties doing all sorts. Well, it would turn out that those tapes barely even scratched the surface of what the feds believe is out there.
This morning, the FBI discovered a tunnel in the mansion of the famous rapper Diddy in Los Angeles. The agents were called to the scene after an anonymous tip from the rapper's neighbors, who claimed that strange things had been happening since his arrest. When they arrived, the officers were greeted by Diddy's family, who seemed very nervous. They tried to stop the agents from entering, but the FBI insisted and decided to conduct a search. Upon entering Diddy's room, they noticed that the floor near the bed appeared to have been recently moved. One of the agents moved the bed to the side, and that's when they made an incredible discovery: an entrance hidden under a carpet, just under the bed. Curious, the agents decided to go down through the passage, but Diddy's sister began to scream desperately, begging them not to enter the tunnel. Despite these pleas, the officers went in anyway. The walls of the tunnel looked freshly dug, as evidenced by the damp earth. As they went further, they found strange objects on the ground.
If you guys recall, there were also rumors that the feds found a network of secret tunnels during the raid of Diddy's homes that connected Diddy's house to Michael Jackson's and other celebrities' houses. The running theory now is that those tunnels were used not just to hide evidence, but also as child tunnels.
15, my pimp put me on an order to go to the Getty, Los Angeles, California Museum. I was told I was going to walk through a field trip. I was taken with another girl. I call a friend of mine. And we were put in dresses and sandals.
As internet detectives started making the connection between the LA fires and Diddy, theories started popping up that the fires were an attempt to destroy the tunnels. Not just that, but they were also supposedly to destroy evidence in certain celebrities' houses, linking them to Diddy. As you guys may know, Diddy's trial is set to begin in May this year, and the prosecutors are currently gathering evidence, building their case, and preparing to make Diddy answer for his alleged crimes. Part of that process has been serving subpoenas on celebrities linked to Diddy, who the feds believe could have evidence that would help their case against Diddy.
Are you expected to eventually turn those things over, or?
Well, that's what we're going to head over to do now. So we have a hearing now to determine what we're going to do in terms of what documents we'll have to turn over and what documents we do not have.
So why were you in court today?
Just to give testimony to the grand jury. He was subpoenaed by the court, so as we all know, if you don't answer a subpoena, the marshals will come to your house as they came to his house and they will bring you here. So that's why we're here today.
I know you can't mention celebrities per se. You did mention some in the interview. So just to clarify, you can back that up with actual factual footage.
We have, it's things that we have, but we gotta go to the other courthouse.
As crazy as it sounds, it's not much of a reach to imagine that these guys will go to any lengths to hide the truth. But according to Jaguar Wright, it's not just celebrities who are involved in this scheme. In one last explosive interview of 2024, Jaguar broke down some sinister truths about the government and how they use celebrities to push certain agendas. Jaguar straight up linked Trump to the Diddy freak-offs, implying that there could be footage of powerful politicians in the freak-offs. But here's where it gets crazy. Jaguar talked about MK Ultra in that interview, and she linked it to the disturbing reports of child that have been coming out of Hollywood. According to Jaguar, the MK Ultra program used Hollywood to promote its mind control projects against the populace.
I think at this point in time, we should more be worried. We should really focus on the reality of Project MK Ultra.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all can sit here and buy into all of these. Oh, they're doing this. Oh, they're doing that. Guess what? If they are, can you stop them? What's the point in complaining about it? If you should only talk about what you can do something about.
This lines up perfectly with what Allie Carter has been saying for the last few months as well. Allie Carter is a survivor of the alleged Diddy freak-offs, and she has been on a mission to expose not just Diddy, but also the other celebrities and government agencies involved in taking advantage of children like her.
I'm telling you right now that something is really wrong. Really wrong. The world will find out soon. Because it's not just about us, it's about you too. It's not going to be enough until it is very personal. The earthquakes and the disasters and the things, if you don't understand, are organized. Because what is on November 3rd? I'm telling you right now that something is wrong. Very, very, very wrong.
Last year, Allie went viral after she talked about MK Ultra and how certain celebrities get codes to use to control their victims through this program.
If there's a round of kids, P. Diddy gets a round of kids. Let's say that round of kids had Justin Bieber in it. There's contracts, okay? There's contracts for codes within that person. So they can take a remote and turn that person off. Britney Spears, when they want to. Lindsay Lohan, when they want to. Amanda Bynes, when they want to, okay? So let's say there's a contract for Justin Bieber. When P. Diddy has a hold of Justin Bieber, he now owns half of those codes. If Usher had the same contract and Bieber out to P. Diddy, okay, Usher and P. Diddy now have parts of Justin Bieber's contract. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if one goes down, the other side of the code has to go down. If there's a property linked to that person, Kevin Hart, because they had something to do with the Bieber, then their property will go down because there's a code to that property. There's a code to everything. Your social security number is like a code. Okay? But depending on the level of MK Ultra, people have auctions for the codes on that person. So they can use a remote to them like a TV and shut them down, turn it up, use somebody else, change it whenever they feel like it.
Allie then went on to talk about how the CPS was involved in supplying children to these celebrities that ended up being used in freak-offs.
I was a kid. And all of this situation, everything that we're talking about, everything that I've been talking about, I was under the age of 18. Let's start there. Okay? I was sold a lot in foster care. A lot of stuff happened in my life with the family I was with. Okay? CPS reports go back to 3 months old. I remember 4 years old, and everything took off from there. All right? So never in my life did a lot of the stuff seem wrong until I met this twin of mine. Nothing seemed wrong. I'm telling you the God honest truth to me. And even when I met her, I was just like, it's fine.
Again, Jaguar Wright backed Allie up in a recent interview where she talked about how the CPS cannot be trusted with children.
It's an option to give your kids up to CPS. Should more women take it?
No. Matter of fact, there shouldn't be CPS. Matter of fact, these state agencies have no credibility anymore. You know how many people on YouTube are foster parents and doing really sketchy, lightweight, dangerous content from their home? I was looking through all the Justin Bieber content. You should just take a tour of Bieber content.
Yeah, it gets a little wild.
Well, no, you got to remember he was discovered on YouTube.
Great. The drums, or
yeah, Usher discovered him.
Yeah.
On YouTube, and that was the big thing. Be like Justin Bieber, become famous on YouTube, and a big celebrity will come and get you and Usher came, and he took him to the Flavor King. Justin Bieber on those drums. Justin Bieber singing "Baby, Baby, Baby." Justin Bieber with Odell Beckham and Trey Songz. Justin Bieber getting pumped in by Jade and Justin Bieber on all of those tapes. I'm starting to feel like maybe when they shut down all the back pages of the little circulars and they went digital, I'm starting to think they all came to YouTube. This is starting to look like a breeding ground, bro. Justin Bieber was on YouTube.
I'll vouch for that.
Dropped off to the diddler, and now he's sucking Calabasas.
Damn.
From the Flavor Freako.
Oof. Okay.
Do we really want any more kids getting discovered on YouTube?
Oh, but there's more. When Allie first started talking about these Diddy freak-offs, people didn't really take her seriously, but she was exposing some things that were truly horrifying if true.
One time he locked me in containers with his shipment of kids. There were kids in there that didn't speak English. There were kids that were sick and that were already dying. There were babies. There were babies that were 6 years old. And I'll never forget them just crying, and everybody was just staring at them. Everybody was just staring at each other. Nobody knew whether or not to move. I was freaked out. And I got up and I held her. And they opened the truck and they took her from me. Because they said she was already sick.
For example, she talked about how she used to be a party favor at Diddy's freak-offs and how she and other children would be forced to engage in acts with older men, including celebrities and political figures at these parties. In a recent interview with Stu Peters, Allie doubled down on her earlier claims and said, "I've been through many elite places, from Buckingham Palace to under the Getty Museum in Los Angeles, still under the custody of Child Protective Services. But get this. The reason why Allie is trending again now is that she literally predicted that there would be a grand cover-up in the form of fires or accidents. Around late October last year, Allie warned people about the quote-unquote accidental fires that were going to come up out of nowhere, saying it was all just part of a grand cover-up scheme.
There is a third arrest that is coming. There's 2 that's already down. The world is going to crumble when they see this next arrest. In the meantime, there's going to be deaths, distractions, and fires to hide evidence. Watch for it, ask questions, demand answers.
It's interesting, given the timing of the LA fires now, and how even some celebrities are questioning whether there's more to the fires than meets the eye. For instance, Chris Brown said, "Someone's starting these fires. Ish don't add up." And believe it or not, a lot of people were in the comments agreeing with him. A celebrity with a brain. Definitely seems like these fires that's in numerous locations are man-made. Someone said, "They burning evidence." Diddy going down alone. Then there's former public official Catherine Austin Fitts, who asked some very important questions about the fires that got people scratching their heads. Fitts used to work as the U.S. Assistant Secretary of Housing and Urban Development during the presidency of George H.W. Bush. She recently explored this theory on her podcast and questioned why so many celebs who were tied to Diddy managed to keep their houses safe, while houses next door burned to the ground.
What I want to see, what I usually look at in situations like this is I look at the patterns of who got wiped out and how. And one of the first questions, I'll be honest, that I'm going to look at when I look at some of the communities involved is how many of the homeowners were on the P. Diddy list.
Catherine then took things a step further and implied that these fires could have been set on purpose to cover up some seriously horrific offenses against the most vulnerable. After all, this wouldn't be the first time powerful people took extreme measures to cover up the truth. Fitz brought up the infamous Franklin cover-up in 1988 when multiple prominent Nebraska politicians and business figures were accused of being involved in a PDF file ring on a massive scale.
I have a wonderful subscriber who's been a subscriber for many years, Polly, and for the first time in his life, he read the Franklin cover-up last week. And I spoke to him last weekend, and he said, I keep hearing you. He said, you get frustrated because people don't understand the importance of financial transaction freedom to their lives. And I hear you keep telling people who say, well, I don't have many assets, and if they take my assets, I don't care. And I hear you telling people, wait a minute, they can take your children. They can mandate health treatments to your children, and they can literally take your treatment. And he said, you need to understand that even though I've been a subscriber for 10 years, I didn't understand what you were saying. And he said, I don't think most people understand what you're saying, but I read the Franklin cover-up, which is one of the best, highly documented cases of ring in America. And he said, now I understand what you mean. Now I understand what you mean when you say they'll take your children, and what that really means, and why financial transaction freedom is so very important to me and to you, because we cannot allow that to happen. So he said, this is the first time that it really got to be personal. It really touched me in an intimate and visceral way. And, I've seen dreadful things done in the interest of covering up pedophilia rings. And this is likely to include, whenever you do an operation this big, you stack functions. So there's a lot of stacking functions going on, but it wouldn't surprise me if this is one of those functions that's getting stacked here.
There are also speculations that Diddy masterminded the whole thing from behind bars. It all started after this alleged Diddy phone call from jail got leaked, where he seemed to be leaving cryptic codes for the person on the other end of the line.
I entertain none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. I'm gonna need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. The what? All the boxes left over from the pizza. All the boxes. Okay. Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about. Yeah. Did Jay reach out yet?
Some believe that Diddy is talking about tying up loose ends and getting rid of evidence in the phone call, and the fires might be a response to that order. Just to be clear, the rumors about Diddy's house getting burned down have been proven to be untrue. However, it looks like there's an explanation for this as well. I mean, why would they bother with Diddy's house when the feds have already searched it from top to bottom? Now, according to sources, some of the places that were targeted were places where evidence of Diddy's freak-off enterprise was stashed. But there's more. The fires also allegedly targeted the tunnels used in shipping victims and freak-off supplies to Diddy.
So Ali Carter said there'd be fires. That's what I said in my last video. This was not what I was expecting, and this is what's happening now in LA. Celebrities are losing their homes as we speak. So I'm not going to go into who I think's houses are on fire and why they're on fire. There's a lot of people, being quite conspiratory in various other videos, saying that they're burning evidence. This is them ahead of the P. Diddy trial, getting rid of all the evidence of stuff they've been up to. I'm not going to go into that. You guys, you're welcome to do that in the comments. I'll give you some names of some people who have lost their houses, though. One notable one is Tom Hanks and his wife Rita, Leighton Meester, Paris Hilton, Eugene Levy. There's a few people in there, so make of that what you will. Do we think they're hiding evidence? Do we think they're burning? She said, just watch this space. There will be fires. They will destroy evidence. What do we think about all that? I'm not really a conspiratory person, but I can't argue with what we're seeing, and it does make me think. It does make me think.
Some people have also drawn similarities between these fires and the Malibu fire in 2018, which also burnt specific houses and left some. You know what both of these cases had in common? They happened right around the time that a high-profile celebrity was being exposed for ex-trafficking. During the Malibu fires, it was Epstein being exposed, and now it's Diddy. Remember how there were also rumors about the 2023 Maui fires being linked to Oprah and some shady secrets? Yeah, some people believe it is all connected.
Oprah Winfrey has been securing Maui land like it's a trending bestseller. In just 2023, she invested in a vast 520-acre plot for $3.89 million, then went for another 330 acres at $2.47 million, not to mention the two 10-acre patches she bought in 2022 for $100,000 each. From a mere 100 acres in Maui, Oprah now commands over 1,000 acres. But here's the twist. Amidst this real estate surge, a sudden fire happens, destroying homes nearby.
What's crazy is that people are now catching on to the fact that Jaguar Wright, Ali Carter, and really anyone else liking the wildfires to Diddy is getting censored. It's like there's a targeted effort to make sure people don't ask questions and only swallow anything the government feeds them, hook, line, and sinker. Katt Williams also jumped into the conversation and backed Jaguar up, supporting the claims that the fires were set up to get rid of evidence in the fires. Sources close to Katt are saying that he's been talking to law enforcement insiders, and he's getting reports that some things don't add up about the fires. It's not surprising that Katt would take this stance now because he has always believed that the government is using Hollywood to distract the public from all the corruption they engage in.
Information is what is limited, and whole industries can be built upon your ability to know how certain things are going to hit certain people. And this was before we called things promotion and marketing. You know what I mean? That's Hollywood is not really there to entertain you. Like, that's great that that happens, but propaganda is something that is important to all civilization.
With the fires still raging on and no answers in sight, people keep filling in the blanks with whatever information is available to them, whether it's an attack from space or political weapon by other countries or a mass cover-up by celebrities on the Diddy list. But what's your take on all this? Do you think there's that much incriminating evidence out there that certain celebrities would stage such a huge cover-up to protect themselves? Or do you think this is just another conspiracy theory feeding into the general panic about the fires? Drop your thoughts and opinions down below, and be sure to stick around if you want more videos like this one.